Repetition is the key to reward. If you want to find your dream job, you're going to have to build the habits that will actually lead you there. Doing everything is not going to get you where you want to go, but doing the right things will. If you're just doing more, right? Like more applications, resume rewrites, keywords, networking events, LinkedIn connections, etc. If you're just doing more, all that is going to do is wear you out, and it's not going to lead you where you want to go. As habit master James Clear says, you do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. My name is Maryann Lombardi. I help women get unstuck and find their next right fit job so they feel more aligned with their career life and can go after that position with the confidence that they want and have the impact that they're looking for. So today, we're going to talk about what the number one habit you need to build is to find your dream job, why it's the most important, and how the heck to build it. Okay? So let's dig in and get cracking. All right. So what is a habit? Let's just start there. We think we know what habits are, but let's be clear. Habits are the repetition of actions of things that we do regularly. They are a part of our day-to-day that we take for granted often. We take for granted that we do them. For instance, our morning smoothie, teeth brushing, walking the dog first thing in the morning, calling your mom when you're running late, which everybody should be doing, right? These things don't take much effort, right? You just do them. You don't have to think about it. It isn't a discussion about when and how you do them. You just do them, okay? Now, your actions determine your outcome. You can't think or plan your way into your dream job. You have to take action. You have to do something, right? You have to act. Some of your actions are going to be individual, singular, but most of them are going to create these habits, which are the collection of actions that repeat over and over and over again. These habits are going to build the practice that lead you to achieve your goal because we confirm our priorities through our actions, through the steps we take. Perhaps we want to reduce stress, learn a new language, or maybe read more books. But if we keep hanging out with people who stress us out the most, we never download Duolingo, or we spend our downtime watching Netflix. How devoted are we to those goals, right? We can say we are desperate for a career change. We want a new job. But if you don't quantify your impact, optimize your LinkedIn, and don't start networking, how committed are you to that change? Our actions betray our commitment, and they cast a shadow over whatever we say we want, okay? So let's talk about the flip side of action, which is inaction. Often we think risk in terms of the actions we take, right? But there's even a bigger risk, and that risk is of not doing anything, right? Not taking action. There's always a potential cost associated with the things we do, the actions we take, but there's also a cost to the actions that we don't take. And often we're not thinking about that, right? We think in terms of action as opposed to inaction. And if there's a gap between where you are and where you want to be, not taking action costs you dearly. If you're unsatisfied with your work, it's going to cost you the physical, the mental, the emotional stress of burnout. It costs you in unearned salary or revenue, depending on what you're doing. It costs you in leadership opportunities and the benefits of finding meaning or being challenged or belonging through your work, right? If you're unsatisfied with your life, doing nothing costs you the time and attention you're not spending on your personal relationships. It costs you whatever the mental and emotional or physical stress that comes along with not living the life that you want. Okay? So let's talk about this habit. The number one habit that you need to make if you want to find your dream job is the reach out and follow up loop. Let me explain. Building and nurturing your business relationships is the most important habit you can build when looking for a new job. Yes, you're going to do a bunch of other things in the process of finding your dream job, but without the growth of your network and the nurturing of those relationships, the rest of those efforts are not going to be supported by much, right? Now, why is this important? Well, think of it this way. You're building a house that will support your family, your growth, and your life over time. Your network is the foundation of that house, okay? People will be born into that house, move in and out of it. It will need renovations at some point. You're going to redecorate a bunch of times. You're going to host all sorts of celebrations. But without the foundation, your house is fragile and can't withstand the impact of any external forces like weather or whatever, right? Jobs are going to come and go. Money will go up and down. Your life needs will adjust. The time you have for work will ebb and flow based on the demands of your family or your personal life. And your relationships are the stable force there to support you as you navigate all of that change and all of that adjustment. So you need them. So how are you going to build this reach out and follow up loop? Let's talk about it. The basics of networking is this reach out and follow up, right? That is where you reach out to connect in hopes of getting on a call with someone, or you reach out to follow up based on a previous conversation. This process is as simple as it sounds, right? So there are 3 ways to build this habit. The best way to build it is to start small, right? Reach out to connect or to follow up with one person a day. That's it. In another video, we're going to dig into the different strategies for who and how to reach out. And in that video, I'm going to tell you how super important your strategy is when it comes to this. And it's important. I'm not going to tell you it's not. But what is more important than the strategy is the action. Remember, action is the key. To build the habit, you have to start taking the action regularly. Worry less about who and worry more about the do. Or don't worry about it, just do it. Right? We can find all sorts of reasons to not take the action. Not knowing who to reach out to is a big one, but it doesn't really matter in the beginning. Obvious people to start with are current colleagues, right? These are people you know, but don't talk to on a regular basis. Maybe past colleagues. You may have lost touch with them, past friends, or members of some mom group you were a part of, or a book club, or parent friends, right? People you met through shared interests. In a pinch, reach out to like your neighbor or a family member you don't talk to regularly, right? The goal is to make it easy, make it simple, and make it something that becomes a habit, right? That you reach out and connect every day. This reach out to connect can be a request to connect on LinkedIn. It could be a quick text asking to catch up. It could be a DM in response to something they posted that resonated with you. It just needs to be a personal reach out. Not just like a like or a comment on social media. It needs to be personal, one-on-one interaction. The follow-up can be about a previous conversation you had, right? You can send an article that made you think of them, or maybe it's about a subject you guys discussed last time you talked, right? You can thank them for their time, thank them for the advice, right? These are just suggestions. So keep it small, start small. The second thing is set a time. Remove the decision fatigue and the back and forth with yourself about like, when are you going to do it? How are you going to do it? Hey, you have more important things to do. You're too busy. Just set a time ahead of time, right? Just decide I'm going to do it now and then stop thinking about it. I suggest it's the first thing you do in the morning when you turn your brain to work. After your morning personal time, before you get to your workload, do your reach out and follow up loop. If there's a better time for you, great. But think about it ahead of time. Stick to it. Don't negotiate. Just do it. Lastly, think less. This is the third thing that'll help you build that habit. Think less. This isn't about being perfect. It's about progress. You don't have to say the perfect thing, pick the right person to reach out to, connect with the same people everyone else is connecting with on LinkedIn, right? All you have to do is just connect. You don't have to have your shit together. Just start a conversation. You just have to do it. Not to get all Nike on you, but they had this one right? Like, just do it. Too much thinking gets you in trouble. It serves as procrastination, self-sabotage. It leads to excuses. It wastes your time. So to start with, take 20 minutes one afternoon and brainstorm all the people you want to reach out to. Keep it in your notes app, add to it when you think of someone, and just start checking them off the list. It doesn't need to be more complicated. In the beginning, just get started. Over time, you can build your strategy and some structure around it, right? But right now, you just need to do it. So let's do a quick recap of what we've talked about. We've talked about the number one habit that you need to build to find your dream job, and that is the reach out follow-up loop. We talked about how you're going to do it, right? And we dug into the cost of inaction, why it's so important to prioritize taking imperfect action. It doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to get done. We also talked about how starting small, setting a time, and thinking less will help you build that habit. So what are you going to do this week? What are you going to do today, tomorrow, right? What are you going to do? You're going to take 20 minutes to build a list of people that you're going to reach out to. And then the next day, you're going to either reach out or follow up once a day. And you're just going to start building that habit. Just do it. All right, I'll see you in the next video.